It's one of those days where you live under a flight path, hoping for a plane to go overhead so you can make an aerial drop pod assault joke. It's just not happening today, though. Hello everybody, it's the Warhipster here, coming at you with another sprue review. Yes, we're on a roll with these at the moment. I'm really enjoying making them because there's a load of really cool stuff coming out of Games Workshop, and today they have sent me the lid of Team Hivestorm. Yes, they sent me the rest of it. It's just over there with stuff in it. So, you know, prepared as always. Yes, Games Workshop have been very kind and have sent me the Team Hivestorm box, and, well, it's an absolute corker. I really like this box. I think it's really cool. I think the contents of it are very, very nice. The terrain is excellent. I really love the Tempestus Aquilons. I didn't at first, but I really love them now. I think they look amazing. And of course, you know what this means. We're sprue reviewing, so we're going to be taking a look at the contents of the Hivestorm box, giving you a good chance to look at those sprues as well, and tell you roughly how long it takes to build the whole thing. And these sprue review videos have been doing really, really well, so thank you so much to everybody who's been watching them and enjoying them. Whatever it is you get out of them, thank you. Let me know in the comments, and, well, if you're going to comment, you might as well like the video. And if you're going to like the video, you might as well subscribe. We're getting dangerously close now to 70,000 subscribers, and that would make Josh a very, very happy boy. Josh being me, if this is your first time. So without further ado, let's jump in to the contents of Team Hivestorm. So here it is then, Team Hivestorm. It is an absolutely enormous box. It's very, very, very thick, and, well, it's so big that mine appears to have been shot at with a BB gun of some description. The sprues have basically pushed through the box here from pressure of actually being shipped. We've also got a kind of little bit of denting going on the bottom, which you can't see because the box is so thick. It doesn't fully appear on the camera. I'm as zoomed out as it's possible to be. So, what we'll do is we'll just move it out of the way. Flip it over very, very gently. So here it is. Right. So, what we've got here is in the content. Oh, we've got a little QR code at the top here. Not sure if that'll work. Pretty sure it won't at the moment. Anyway, the box contains the Kill Team core book, the Team Hivestorm dossier, the assembly guide, the core token sheet, the combined Kill Team's token sheet, the Kill Team approved ops card pack, and 10 dice. It also includes 22 Citadel miniatures, full Tempestus Aquilon Kill Team of 11 operatives, and the full Vespid Stingwing Kill Team of 11 operatives. We also have Killzone Vulcus, which is the game board and the terrain set, which you can see all over here, and we also have the Universal Equipment Kill Team Upgrade Equipment Pack, which I believe is things like these boxes, these little shields and stuff like that. So a bunch of scatter terrain as well. And yeah, there we go, the Upgrade Equipment Pack, as you can see right there. There it is, ladders, smoke grenades, little barriers, all that kind of stuff. So it's a little extra sprue for your Kill Team games, which you can buy these, I believe, as kind of pieces for your game, or for your kill teams if you've got leftover points, I think is how it works. But also it's just some neat little scatter terrain now for your kill team stuff if you just want to use it as that, which is pretty cool. So here we go. This is the entirety of the box. As I said, it is an absolutely junky box. So now we're going to flip it back over very gently because we've got all the pressure from the punctured lid. As you can see, there it is, and we're going to finally unveil the box. Oh, sorry if you're hearing that on the microphone, it's hit the microphone. There we go. It's so big. It's a very, very thick case. Ah, right, here we go. So, I'm starting to see where things might have gone a little bit awry here. We've got some pressure that's happened here on the Vespid wings, They appear to be a little bit minced. Yeah, see some breakage has happened on this sprue. So we've got a snap here. We have a snap here. We have a snap there. Just on these, because they're quite. It's a sprue that's crossing the plane. As you can see that. It's like a sort of almost. Yeah, you can see like that. So that is where the puncture holes will come from. Is from these little parts of the sprue. This has been just slightly mispacked, I think. Okay, well, that is possibly a damaged sprue for the Vespid. That's a bit of a shame, but we'll make the best of it. But there is one sprue for the Vespid. Is there another sprue for the Vespid? There is. There is one over here. That is a sprue for the Vespid. So it is a 3 spruer. So it's a double one. It's 2 sprues cut together, like this one here. And then another one. So it's 3 sprues, technically. We have one of our Aquilon sprues there. And we have our other Aquilon's sprue just there as well. Marvellous. So put them to one side. Now, this terrain here is stuff that we've already seen. This is not. So that's new. Or at least it's new to me. But that's old. You can tell there's 2 different colours of plastic, right? But this is the stuff that came in... oh, God. I want to say... it was the last edition, and they released those large terrain packs. It's quite old stuff now. It makes decent corner buildings. It's nice. We've actually done a video on it before in the Quick and Dirty Ruins video. But this is also a new sprue. I've not seen that one before. And that would be our terrain pack sprue just here. So we've got the doodads for playing Kill Team. And there it is. There's our equipment stuff. Again, we've seen things like this similarly. This was in the Kill Team Octarius one, the one with the orcs and the Death Core of Krieg, which we've actually done these 2 little bits kind of things before, but the rest of it is pretty new. So that's why it's new on this sprue. Pop that to one side. And then, as mentioned, we have our building. I'm pretty certain this is a new building. This is a new building. This is a new building. And this here is also a new building sprue. I'm pretty certain because I don't recognise this floor paneling, for example. Anyway, let's pull all of that out. Again, correct me if I'm wrong, guys. I don't know all of my terrain sprues. Next up, we have... this feels like boards to me. Oh, it's very nicely wrapped. That's nice. Should we open it? Well, we should. We are... I'm always so careful with these bits, but I don't see why I should be. Because it never goes back in. We'll deal with that in just a second. I think we'll need a knife to deal with that. Yes, I've got one just here. Let's deal with it now. There we go. Lovely. Here we go. Yeah, it's the boards. Which folds out into 4. And it is double-sided. Which I shall show you a corner of. There you go. That's one side. I wonder if we can fit all of this on the desk in order to play a game. No. Not at all. That's one side. And the other side looks thusly as well. Same thing. If I flip it over. Like that. It is a pretty cool looking board. I like it. I like it a lot. Alright. Fold that away for now. And then we have, ooh, a lovely, lovely folio. So before we get to that, let's just look in here. Nothing there by the looks of things. And we have bag of bases. And we have the dice. Oh, and we have a little plastic bit here. So this will be one of the components from the sting wings. There we go. So that's one of the things that's missing. It's going to be popped out. Okay, it's good to know we still have it. I'm just going to leave it in the box for now. Otherwise we definitely will lose it. Let's have a look at these dice, shall we? I bet these are just normal white dice. Indeed they are. And they roll very averagely. Let's see. Oh, that was a 4 as well. There you go. No 6s. Oh, they feel nice. Oh, that was better. There you go. That's a pretty decent roll. Actually, it's not. It's terrible. This is what happens. I roll dice on camera, and it always goes poorly. There we go. Pop them away. Bag of bases. I believe these are all going to be 32 mils, apart from that one there, which is a 40 mil, but we shall find out in due course. And then we have our folio here, which should have the rest of our things. Box disposed of. So just open that up. Ooh, here we go. So we have the core book. We have the Hivestorm dossier. We have the instructions. And we have tokens. And tokens. And then also Kill Team Approved Ops Card Pack 2024. And a bit of structure card. Again. This is different though. It's thicker. That's nice. Actually, we'll keep it. Why not? I always discard it, but let's keep it. Just keep the structure. That's always nice to have. So there you go. That is all the contents in the box. I really like the folios. As you guys know, the folios are a fantastic addition to these types of boxes. So Games Workshop, keep it up. Let's keep on making those boxes. We have the 2 books here, the core book and the Hivestorm dossier. So this one is a full core rules by the looks of things. Yes. It looks to be. It does not seem to have all of the kill teams in it, but as you know, there is a QR code on the back, which has... Oh, hello. There's the joint ops. That's the co-op, which we've been excited for. And Gallowdark. So it has the ability to play this Gallowdark and on the top. So that means we're not abandoning all of the Gallowdark stuff, which is great. That's fantastic. Oh, look at that. A bunch of Gallowdark recommendations. That's your boarding action style terrain. So that's great. Love to see that. Let's see. Is there more of that kind of thing? Oh, we've got we've got Beta Decia. I recognise names of these. Gallowdark. There you go. For a full rule set for Gallowdark. That's awesome. City Fight as well. That's cool. Killzone Volcus. That's the one we're currently in. That's what this one is based in. So the Volcus terrain pack is what you get in this box. Terrain types and stuff. So I wonder if things like... Is it just going to be Gallowdark, Volcus, Beta Decima? I know there's a bunch there's been a bit more, but anyway, Kill Team fans, you'll know more than I do. But all of these... Oh my goodness. Multiplayer. 4-player kill team. Did I just see that correctly? It looks like it. 4-player maps. 3-player maps. Oh, that's awesome. I love it. I don't know if that's been a staple of Kill Team for a while, but if there is 3-player and 4-player, that's wicked. Just more chances to enjoy this thing together. Okay, fantastic. That's a nice looking book. Presumably this Hivestorm dossier was just everything to do with specifically Hivestorm. Is this just all of the faction rules for the Aquilon and the Vespid Stingwings? Airborne Assault Mission Pack. There you go. There's your rules for playing the kind of airborne stuff that they've been talking about. Okay, brilliant. Lovely. Okay, so we are going to have a look at the instruction manual. That's our main point of focus for this, because this is a sprue review. And it's already off to a poor start because we've got slightly mashed sprues, which is a bit of a shame, but it is what it is. There's nothing we can do about it. We just have to hope that they're not so mashed that it makes painting them, or building them in fact, a really terrible ordeal. Okay, so we can put this away for now. And we can pull out our instruction manual. There it is. It's not actually that big. We have the little thing there to indicate that this is a build manual, which is interesting. Never seen that one before. Okay, so we have 10 28mm round bases, and we have one 40mm round base. We have 10 more 28mm round bases and one 25mm round base. Okay, and then we have our key for all of our terrain sections here and here. I should have it. Oh, and this is also for the Stingwings and for the Aquilons, and it kicks you right off with the Aquilon kill team. Okay, marvelous. And then it will take us into the Vespid Stingwings. As you can see, there's tons and tons of things which we're going to get into. We are going to go a little bit more in depth as we go at this unit by unit, of course. We should then get our build instructions for our terrain. There you go. Stronghold, the Bastion. This is the first of these. These are kind of enclosed ruins, which I'm into. I like that as a thing. It's almost like an intact building, but not. So that's your one. And that is your large ruin. It's the old terrain. There's your small ruins. That's also old terrain. And here is the universal equipment that looks like we just clip it out. There's no assembly on that, which is awesome. Heavy rubble, light rubble. Excellent. Okay, so there should be two of these. So is it just a case of you build like that? What? I don't understand. Oh, yeah. I get it. I get it now. Okay, cool. Okay, well, I guess we shall come back in just a second with an in-depth look at the Aquilon Tempestus. Okay, so to build our Tempestus Aquilon kill team, what we are going to require is this sprue and this sprue, as well as some of those bases. 10 of the 28mm round bases and the 40mm round base as well that is contained within this little bag. But we won't open it just yet so that we don't lose any bases. Let's have a quick look at those instruction manuals before we have a look at the sprue. So, as you can see, first of all, there is an absolute ton of options here. So we have the flamer, we have the hotshot volley gun, we have the grenade launcher. They can all go on the little turret. We also have a las carbine, las pistol, long las, a melter bomb, a melter carbine, a plasma carbine, a relic bolt pistol, a chainsword, a power weapon, and a Tempestus dagger. Then if we go down here, we can see we've got a bunch of interchangeable parts. All of the heads are interchangeable, which is absolutely fabulous. I would guess though that the Sergeant probably doesn't have an interchangeable head. We have interchangeable little packs here as well, and interchangeable backpacks too. I have no idea what these pieces are, but I'm sure we will be illuminated shortly. So we have the Tempestus Aquilor, that comes up first, and we have the choice to build a bunch of different versions. We can just build a trooper if we want to, or we can build one with the bolt pistol and the chainsword, or one with the las pistol and the power sword. We're probably going to go with whatever the box art is telling us to do, just because the loadout for that theoretically should be legal, and I don't know what I'm doing otherwise. But we have the blue track. Loads of different variation there, which is what you want from your kill teams. We have the green track just there as well, which is for your sword and las pistol combination. Then we have our pink track and we have our yellow track, which gives you all of those different options. It then moves on to the grenadier or a trooper. So we build the grenadier or the trooper. Then we build the Aquilon gunfighter or the Aquilon trooper. So loads and loads of cool stuff here. You can notice that there's not a bunch of cables as there normally is on the Tempestus Scions. We have the marksman or a trooper, the gunner or the trooper. We have a precursor or a trooper, and then we have just Aquilon troopers down at the bottom there, and there, and there, and there, and here. And then finally, we finish off with the Aquilon servo sentry. So there is a bunch of different things like grenade packs and little sheathed daggers and stuff like that, which we can also choose, which is cool. And then the only options that we have here on the servo sentry are, of course, gun options, which are the hotshot volley, the grenade launcher, and the flamer. I'm probably going to go with the hotshot volley gun because I think it's one of the coolest weapons. Anyway, that's pretty cool. It's a nice little set of pieces and bits and bobs. So we'll pop this to one side just for the moment, and we'll actually have a quick look at those sprues. So we shall start off with the double sprue, and what we will do on the double sprue is break it apart like that, and hope that that snap noise was the sprue and not any components. I don't think it was. So we're going to start here, and this one is the one where it appears to be most of, if not all, of the backpacks. So what have we got? What are we working with here? Well, first of all, I've noticed over here we have a power sword, and we don't have a connection point on the cutting edge of a blade. Fantastic. Love to see it. We have a connection point here on the trim of the shoulder, which is just about okay, although it is connected right there on the kind of one of the little triangles. If we come right close, you can see just there. So that is going to be a little bit of a pain in the proverbial to deal with that one, but just kind of, again, just don't apply too much pressure, and that way you don't end up taking off the trim with your knife when you're trying to smooth it down. The kind of legs and things like that were connected on the underside of the boot here and the underside of the boot there, which is really cool. We have connected on the kind of glue stud here, which is all right, and then we have a chest piece here where we're connected at the top of the kind of, well, these are like belts and straps and stuff, which is okay, and then in here at the crotch, which is just about all right because you won't really see any of that, and it's reasonably easy to get to and smooth down. We have more of these arms though, where we're connected right on that bit, a little bit of triangle of the trim, so we're going to have to be really careful around here and here. When it's down here, it's all right because that's on a piece of armor, so it's nice and easy to smooth down, so that's okay. We have these pieces, which are the interchangeable pieces that I'm completely mystified by and have no idea what they're for, but they look cool, and they are connected right next to a congested little strap in here, in here, and here, and here, 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 and here. So it's all the same across all of these, so at least you'll get practice if we have to use one of these across every single miniature, but it's also a little bit frustrating because it is quite close, so just watch out for that. You know, it's going to be tough to do regardless of what you do. This is a really nice shoulder pad because it's connected on the underside of that piece of plastic. That's cool. I like it. And then we have a, what looks like, well, I thought it was a barrel at first, but it's definitely not. But that's connected on a nice smooth piece. We have a las carbine here where we're connected at the magazine and on the underside of the kind of grip, and then right up here on the top as well. So that's just about okay. It's nice and kind of around the outside. The chainsword isn't connected on any of the teeth. It's on the back of the weapon and on the cross guard, so that's cool. And then we have a slightly wonky dagger, which I suspect is supposed to be just like that, or straight on. There we go. They're connected on the kind of the leather of it around the outside. It's okay. These are nice pieces. And then we have our backpacks as well. Oh, actually, no, just before we get to that, we have a head here, and it is connected at the neck, which is awesome. We love to see that. We have our Hotshot Las pistol here, and the bolt pistol, again, connected around the magazines and stuff like that. On the end of barrels, it's just kind of where you'd expect it to be. We have a piece of rock just here, and that's okay. That's connected just fine. We have another head that's also connected on the underside of the neck, and that's good to see. And now we come to the backpacks where we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of them. So maybe we are missing 2. Oh no, here's another one. Here's number 9. So we're missing one more backpack. We shall have to find it on the rest of the sprue. So these are connected okay. So we have these kind of sections of the backpack assembly where we're connected on the underside of the turbines, and here on across the top, so that's nice and simple to deal with. And then here we're also connected around the top of the turbines rather than on the curved part, and here we have it on the outside edge, which is fantastic. These are good backpacks. I like these backpacks. These are connected very, very well. Good job, Games Workshop. That's awesome. Love to see it. It's the same deal down here, and it's the same deal over here as well. This is good stuff. This is really cracking stuff. Like it. All right. Next sprue, we have this guy. So, this one. We have more of our bodies here, so these are connected very similarly. These are around the kind of crotch plate, although this is on the side of it rather than right on the underneath. But then we are connected on the shoulder straps as well, again, across all of these torso fronts by the looks of things. Yep, that looks to be correct. We have connection points on the underside of boots here and here, here, and then we have it on the back of the leg, which is fantastic. This one's on a joint, this one's on the back of a joint, this one's on the back of the leg. Oh my goodness me, this is an absolute treat. Oh, I'm impressed. This is great. This connection point is again on the back, because normally you would see this kind of connected on like hip plates or right on the top of a knee or right on a flat knee point or something like that. But no, we're on the underside of the boot, and then we're either on the back of the leg or in a joint area, which is just really nice. That's cool. I'm being attacked by a moth. Go away. We're doing a sprue review. We have a plasma carbine here and another plasma hotshot las carbine. We have a melter carbine. That's very diddy. It's like an inferno pistol for a space marine. That's awesome. Yeah, I mean, this is a really well organized sprue. We have the servo turret here as well, connected on the underside of the feet, here on the joint, and then the weapon is connected around the outside. Oh, I'm in danger of thinking this is one of the best sprues I've ever seen. This is awesome. The only thing that's kind of letting it down at the moment is these shoulder pads where we are connected right on the triangle of the trim, and it is quite diddy. That at the moment though is the only thing that is really kind of putting me off about this, but otherwise we're in incredibly good nick. It's awesome. We haven't got a cutting edge on connection point on a cutting edge of a blade up here, which is fabulous. The guns again, we're all connected, all good. We have the main torso body here where we're connected at the joint, and then on the top as well, which will be covered by the backpack. This is great. Oh, you devilish boys, kill team. I love this. This is a really good sprue. Alright, let's see if we stick the landing on the final sprue. We still need to find that backpack. Here it is. Is the backpack here? I don't see it. Oh, there we have it. There's backpack number 10, and there is the other accompanying piece for it. Okay, so we do have 10 backpacks. That's great. We have grenades. Again, we're all just connected on the underside of one piece of the grenade, not connected too much, which is awesome. Then we have all of our heads here. Well, not all of them, because we've already seen 2, but we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 heads here. We saw 2 over there, so that's 20 heads in the box. There's probably more that I've missed, but it looks to me like we've got bare heads for everybody, which is cool. And we should have helmeted heads as well, which is awesome. Probably going to go all helmets apart from on the sergeant, who we're going to give a beret. And we have mixture here of female and male as well, which is awesome. Lovely. It's kind of what we expect from the guard now in all walks of guard life. More bodies where we're connected in exactly the same ways. Underside of the boot towards the back of the leg. This one is on a joint on the underside. This one's at the underside of the boot, in a joint, underside of a rock, at a joint. Oh, wow. What a sprue. This is sprues put together in the correct way. The only letdown, as I mentioned, is more of this on these shoulders here, connected right on those little triangles of the trim. So here and here and here as well. But honestly, with this much joyous connection on all of these pieces, I could almost forgive it. Almost. It is still going to knock points off though. I'm sorry. It has to though. The las carbines are really, really cool. Hotshot las carbines look fantastic with the kind of magazines rather than the belt, the kind of power feeds. That's awesome. I love to see it. Perhaps those other things are the folded up power feeds. Those components I couldn't quite identify. So when they land, they stick it in rather than, you know, having to dive with a loose cable and all that kind of thing. I like that. That's a nice little detail. If that's true, it might not be true though. I don't know. You decide. This is a really good sprue. This is a really good set of sprues. The Tempestus Aquilons, very, very impressive. So that hopefully makes up for the fact that the Vespid have been a little bit crushed. And hopefully that sprue, despite the crushing, is just as good as this one, but we shall find out in due time. But before we do that, we've got to build all of these, and we're going to see how long it takes to build one of them, and then we'll average it out, and we'll tell you the total time. So we'll see you in a little bit. Okay, so we're cooking now. Our aquilons are all built. Here they are. Now, one thing I will point out here is I couldn't figure it out, and then I did. There's a gunfighter in here, which is this model, which is the one that comes with the 2 las pistols. Now, you cannot build the gunfighter if you build the champion with the las pistol. So you have to put the bolt pistol on this one, and even then I'm not sure there's enough arms in there. So I ended up just kind of building a basic trooper. So we've got 5 specialists and 5 troopers divided equally here and here and here. And it is just one thing to point out, because it uses the same las pistol on the gunfighter as it does on the champion. Anyway, we're going to put our aquilons over to one side, and we're then going to move on to our Vespid Stingwings. So in order to build them, we're going to require 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10 28mm round bases, as well as this one 25mm round base. We're also going to require these 2 sprues, which are the ones that have been a bit mashed, and I've had a good long look at them, and actually I think everything is still there. We've got the little tips of the wing here, and there is just about the tip of the wing still holding on for dear life there, maybe. Oh no, it's actually gone. So we've lost a couple of little spines, but that's just about it. We've also lost a little kind of one of these little cylinder type things, which is in the box. I know where that one is, so we will attach that one when we come to building these as well. So we will require these 2 sprues, so it's not actually as bad as I thought it would be in terms of the mashing of these sprues. So get those 2. Well, in fact, that one is a little bit weirdly bent. See that? Wow. I have just had a bad luck with this Vespid Stingwings box set of miniatures. Anyway, we are also going to require the instruction manual, which we will now pop down in front of us here. So it starts there, like that. Now, as you can see, we have again a bunch of options. It'll be interesting here again to see if we can build all of the options. So what we have is we have the flamer, the neutron rail rifle, the neutron sting, the neutron blasters, neutron grenades, claws, ram, and neutron grenade launcher. We have interchangeable parts in the form of all of those heads. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So there's definitely a sergeant's head in here as well. Yep, you can see it just there, B8. And then also, I guess, B10 is the... Nope, that's one of the interchangeable ones. There we go. So, and then you have, just like you do with normally with the kill teams, you have your specialists that can all be built as just kind of Vespid warriors. So even your sergeant can be. So down here, Sergeant, Vespid Warrior, Vespid Strain Leader, Vespid Warrior, Vespid Shade Strain, Vespid Warrior, Vespid Long Sting, Vespid Warrior, and then we just have Vespid Sky Blast, Vespid Warrior, Vespid Swarm Guard, and Vespid Warrior. And that is it. Then we just have the generic Vespid Warriors here and there and everywhere. So how many specialists was that? That is 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 once again. So that's pretty cool. And then there's a bunch of kind of alternate posing, I guess is what you would call it, with the Vespid Warriors. However, with the actual just Vespid Warrior section, it looks to me like there aren't any optional extras here. But we shall find out when we flip this page. No, we don't really have any kind of like plasma grenades or anything like that. So that's interesting. Anyway, so a little bit more in terms of customizability for the Aquilons than there is on the Vespid, but the Vespid still look pretty sweet. So we'll pop these to one side. Now, we are going to have to forgive ourselves just a little bit for the slightly mashed quality of these sprues. So we're going to start with this one, the bent one. And, well, let's have a look then, shall we? Let's have a good old long investigate of this sprue. So, starting kind of around sort of this area. One thing we're going to kind of have to forgive here, well, we don't have to forgive it, but we are just going to have to expect, is that there's going to be connection points on all of the carapaces and the muscles of the Vespid. Now, we can already see it here, right there on the knee. We can see it here on the knee, here on the back of the ankle. We can see it here on the knee, not on the knee there, but then right on the knee there as well. We've also got the kind of, I think it's called a proboscis, but the kind of bug body, the wasp sting type thing. We have the connection point right there in the soft underbelly rather than on the carapace on the outside. And that is the same here, 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 here. Here, 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 and here. So across, well, basically all of them by the looks of things. We shall find out in due time. I'm looking at the other sprue just off camera, and yes, it is the same deal. So that's one thing to point out. So that's not great, but I guess we'll just have to deal with it. You really want these kind of things to be connected on the kind of harder bits on the outside, because it just kind of makes more sense for them to be there, and there's less congested when you're clipping them off and putting them together. This, I can't get over how bent that sprue is. Look at that. That's quite the climb up there. Look, I'm not putting any pressure on that. Ridiculous. Hopefully the parts are all okay. They usually are in that instance, but we shall see. We have rocks and stuff here, here, and here, and here, and here, and here. All over. They're all attached as you would kind of expect. And then, like I said, the limbs and stuff, you want it to on the outside, but not necessarily on the knee. I would prefer it to be kind of connected to the sprue at the joints, like there and there, but instead it's not. It's all just on the detail. So you're going to have to be a little bit more careful with the Vespid than you are with the Aquilons. It's not as good a sprue, at least this one isn't. It's not as good a sprue as that one, because it is connected all on detail rather than in bits that you're not ever going to see. Unlike the Aquilons, where a lot of it was connected in bits where you're not going to see it, which is really, really good. So there you go. I mean, that's sprue number one. And then we shall have a look at the other sprue, which I shall now endeavour to snap in half carefully so as not to lose any more pieces. No satisfying click this time. So our next sprue is this one just here. Now this is where we're going to see more of our weapons by the looks of things, and we have our other two bodies connected on the soft underside here and here again, and then more of the same from things like the legs. So connection points on the outside, on the frontward facing nature of the knee, for example, just there. We have it kind of on the kind of the back of the ankle as well, in quite congested areas around little kind of folds in the muscles and things like that. Connection point on the kind of on the bum there. That one's better, but then this one's right here on the front of the shin, for lack of a better word. Oh no, that's a knee. It's a reversed leg. So that's on the back. That's actually the better leg that we've seen so far, but then we're right back to being on the front of the knee just there. The weapons and stuff seem to be reasonably well connected. We do have connection points, of course, on the shoulders of the Vespid here and here. This is on a piece of armor. That's just about okay. We like that. But then this one's on the knee, on the shoulder again, and rather than kind of just on the kind of construction of the gun, which would be easier because it's a hard detail, so it's much easier to kind of get that guidepost in as you're kind of scraping it flat with a knife or mold line remover. But as it happens, it all appears to be on rounded details and organic details, so not the best, not ideal. There's lots of lovely guns on there though, very Tau-like weaponry as well, which is cool. Yeah, I'm a big fan of these. I particularly like the rail gun just there. It looks like a Tau rail gun, which is a good thing because I like Tau rail guns. They have a nice profile. They're very, very cool. So yeah, it's it's not ideal so far. Like for example, we have a kind of one of the blast wing or whatever it's called, we have the kind of large thick gun here where its barrel is separate there and right down the middle, so you might have a gap going down the middle of your gun barrel, which is on the biggest gun is a little bit disappointing rather than the smaller weapons, but that's going to be more noticeable than anything. It's kind of like the Tempestus Aquilons is such a good sprue that they had to even things out with this one and make it not quite the worst sprue, but not a good sprue. That's yeah, it's a bad sprue. The Vespid Stingwings are not great. And then we have our... let's see if we can salvage something here. So we have our wings. So all of the wings are here. They're not really situated anywhere else on the sprue set, which is okay. So that means you always know you're going to come back here. And the little drone is here as well, which is cool. That looks fantastic. I love that. The heads are all connected. Oh, goodness me. They're not connected at the neck. They're connected on the kind of antenna. Right here, here, and here, and that's going to be easier on some things like this one, but then when you have smaller antenna or more kind of close together kind of segments of the antenna, it's going to be harder. So for example, that one there, it's going to be a little bit more tricky, and it's also going to add a little bit of pressure to these bits because they're a little spindly. They're not like really brittle, but they're just a little bit more kind of, well, spindly in comparison to, say, a kind of really close-knit molded helmet. And then we have the wings. Now, mine have been mashed, as we have mentioned a couple of times now. For example, here and here and here as well. So it's been a little bit of a shame, but it's not the end of the world. It's a little bit of cosmetic damage, but that's okay. We can just about forgive it. I mean, we will knock points off for the Vespid for that. Because yours might be the same, and that would mean that the product is defective in some way, at least in terms of the packing of the product, but we shall see. They're generally connected pretty well. This one here, for example, connected 3 times on the spines, and then on the kind of the body of the wings. Same here on the spines, here and here, here and here. We're not actually connected to the sprue there. I don't know if it was connected to the sprue there, but it looks like it probably was. And the same for this kind of little button here. It definitely wasn't connected there, but it might have been connected just there. We don't know for sure, because, you know, like I said, this one has been mashed just a little bit in transit. They're just about okay, though. Mold lines might be an issue here in slightly weird places because, as mentioned, these... pieces kind of cross the 3D plane, or well, the 2D plane of the sprue. So it might be that you kind of have a weird mold line in the middle of a wing here or there, rather than along the spine where it's easy to spot. So just be very careful with that and just kind of check it at all angles under your light just to make sure that you don't have mold lines in strange places. The same could be said of the heads as well, so just watch out for that. Sometimes it's beneficial on components like these because it means that the mold line might just be up here at the tip rather than kind of all the way along the spine, which is just much flat better, which is okay. So there's pros and cons to it, but yeah, overall, Vespid Stingwings, nowhere near as good. Maybe we should have started with these. We'd be a little bit more praiseful of them. But yeah, nowhere near as good, Nick, as those Tempestus Aquilons. I'm seriously impressed by that sprue, but we shall find out if it takes as much or less time to build a Vespid Stingwing coming up next. So our Vespid are all built. They look absolutely fantastic. It's a really nice glow up for these. They're awesome. I do like them a lot. I particularly like this tiny little drone. It's one of my favourite models I've ever built. It's gorgeous. I love it. Right, there we go. So that is the second kill team all done and dusted. So it's time to move on to some big chunky buildings. So we have 2 of the strongholds, which are the new ones for Kill Zone Vulcus. Here they are. It's very simple. One building is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pieces. 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh no, 8 pieces for one building. The next one is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pieces. And then we have some little tiny bits of scatter terrain, D8, D7, and C9 as well. Then we have the large ruin pieces. These are from the Vertigus set. I remembered the name because I have built it and I have painted it before. So we're not actually going to look at these sprues in any detail, but we will skip on to these kind of heavy rubble, light rubble, universal equipment bits over here. Now this is going to be one of the quickest sprues we've ever reviewed. And you'll see why in just a second. So we're going to look at these ones. We're going to look at the upgrade, the equipment pack, and then we're going to get on with the building because the Vertigus ones are quite old. So to build our new terrain, we've got 4 whole sprues. So we have this one. There it is. We have this one. There that is. We have this one. There that is. And we have this one. Now there's not really much to sprue review here, as it were, because, well, it's terrain. So it's all connected around the outside of the big bits. And that's kind of the end of it. One thing you do have to watch out for, though, is when there are little connectors between windows and things like that. So, for example, we have a couple right there. That's a really nice, helpful example. There's one just there. There's another one just there. So between the spars and things, you might end up with a kind of little bit of extra sprue, which you just need to cut away. That's one thing to watch out for. This piece generally looks fine. These are our rubble pieces here and here. They're looking pretty good. We have another bit just there. Excuse me. Got a bit of a hiccup situation going on here. We have a little bit of a rubble extra sprue bit here. Goodness gracious me, I'm tripping over my words as well. So that's that sprue. It's a nice look. I mean, look at how big that wall is. It's nice. I like it. And it's detailed on both sides. The floors are not, but that is absolutely bonkers. I think it looks incredible. The next sprue we have is this one. So let's look for any extra bits of sprue here and there. Doesn't look like there are any on this one. Oh, no, we have one just here, although it is connected at the actual sprue itself. So no, this one looks clear of that kind of thing. So that's nice to see. Again, all connected around the outside. Nice and simple to follow around with your knife and mold line remover. Our next sprue is this one, where there's a couple of these little sprue grates. So we actually have some barrels and crates and things. Well, these are just crates. And we have another little bit of rubble there. And we have those connectors between the window panes here, 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 and here. Just there, like that sort of thing. And that seems to be it by the looks of things. Again, really nicely detailed on either side. Extremely detailed, but we're going to go for something quite simple here. I've got a really good plan, but I shan't share it with you now. You'll have to watch the video when that comes out. There we go. That's a nice looking terrain sprue. Goodness me. I do love putting good terrain together. It is always a good time. There we go. And we have the last of the new terrain sprues. Again, connection, kind of extra sprue bits between the windows here, 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 and here, and there. We have another one just here that's easy to miss right there. We don't have one on the hole in the floor here, which is nice. Hello, here's my little finger. And we have more of our little extra bits of rubble. There's loads of really cool little kind of bits like this on these two sprues. I'm very impressed. I like that. I like to see that sort of thing. If you're like kind of mounting it on bases or whatever, then that would look really cool. All kind of just like piecing the ruins together, for example. As mentioned, we're not going to look at the Vertigus stuff, but we are going to look at the equipment upgrade sprue. The reason why this is the quickest thing we're ever going to review is because there's nothing to glue together, and it's a terrain sprue. So you just literally just clip this stuff out, and you're good. You're good to go, honestly. It's really cool. It's all connected around the outside. The only things to kind of watch out for are these grenades here, 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 and here. We have some smoke plumes as well. You just want to watch out for these. And the reason I say that is because there might be some mold lines, but they do appear to be flat on this side. Yes, they are. They're not completely rounded, so they're not going to rattle around on your table. And there shouldn't be much in the way of mold lines to actually have to remove, unless you're going to use these little kind of kill team kind of jobbies over here. You could use them, I suppose. And maybe we'll paint them. Maybe we'll paint them for a video. A whole video on its own. That'd be fun, wouldn't it? And then we have kind of, I think these are, yeah, depressurized ladders. Well, folded up ladders. That's cool. That'd be nice to have a ladder like that, wouldn't it? It's a very tall ladder. Yeah, easiest sprue we've ever looked at, because these bits all just stand alone, which is really nice. So you got some kind of like objectives for your games of 40k, for example. I really like using these as an idea. That would be cool. Same for things like the comms bits over here. You could use those as objective markers, just to kind of not have those big discs or whatever. But if you like the big discs, you like the big discs. And there you go. That is the easiest sprue we've ever looked at. There shouldn't be too much to actually work on here. And in fact, you might even be better off just kind of clipping off these kind of upward facing bits, but anything that's like kind of holding it down at the bottom of things, just leave that and paint it on the sprue. Honestly, that might be a good idea. Maybe that is what we'll do. Maybe. We'll see. Anyway, we are now going to build all of this terrain, and we'll be right back on the time lapse. We'll tell you how long it takes to build and put together the strongholds, or each of the strongholds, and then we'll be back for the kind of wrap up bit. You know how these videos work. So there you have it. There's quite a bit of stuff in this box. It's not like loads and loads of different model kits, but there is a lot to be really interested in here, especially those Aquilons. I think that's an amazing set of sprues. I really do. I hope it's mold lineless forever. That would be very nice. I can see how that kit would become more of a nightmare if it was slipped in the mold and it had really chunky mold lines. Anyway, it doesn't matter, because what matters is the question that everybody has on their lips at this point. Did Josh manage to paint it all? And the answer is almost. So I did manage to paint up the vertiginous terrain, all 4 bits of it, because there's the 2 large L's. Here's one of them, and the small L's that go with it, and they're both on each of their own sprues. So there's another one. That's the slightly smaller building. So we've got all of that done, and it looks great. But we also did paint up the big new building. So this is one of the strongholds, and the other stronghold as well, which is just a little bit bigger again. So there's lots and lots going on here. As you can see, it's absolutely massive. It doesn't even fit all on the camera. Huge bits of terrain. It looks absolutely fantastic. We went for a very, very simple scheme over the top of all of it, because we got it all done very, very quickly in a 6-hour challenge video. So we also did all of the barricades and stuff as well as part of it, which just add a little bit of flavour. We've also completely finished the Vespid Stingwings kill team. As you can see before you, they look amazing. Again, we went for something pretty quick here. I think you'll be pleasantly surprised by this one. And we also have finished off half of the Aquilons. The other 5 I haven't quite done yet. They're in progress. They're coming, but don't worry, all of this is going to be done. And these are kind of Harakoni Warhawks inspired. So it's cool. So we have exactly 3 painting videos coming for you. I don't know if we're going to do the equipment pack as a painting video. Let me know if that's something you want to see. But we're going to do the Aquilons. We've got the Vespid. And of course, we've got all of that terrain. And we did it in sub 6 hours. Yes, it's another challenge video that I challenged myself to do as I was starting the video. So overall, what do we think of the Kill Team Hivestorm box? Well, to me, I as somebody who's not really that invested in Kill Team, well, at least hasn't been for a very, very long time, I really like this box. I think it's really cool. There's lots of kind of new stuff in here, which I think would be more exciting to seasoned Kill Team veterans than it is to me. But as somebody who's just kind of stepping into this world tentatively for the first time since 7th edition, I'm really, really impressed with it. Co-op mode and solo mode and multiplayer mode, all included in the box, is really, really awesome. and they look pretty fun to play. You just need to have some friends, which I don't. But all that stuff aside, let's talk about the models, of course. Now, the Tempestus Aquilons might be one of the best sprues I've ever looked at. I just really, really like it. I think it's fantastic. And they're quite detailed, complicated, fiddly models to paint, but they are absolutely gorgeous. And I cannot get enough of them. I just want to see if we're going to get more Tempestus stuff, because these are absolutely fantastic. Sprue was incredible, so it just gets like a 9.5 out of 10 straight off the rip. Now the Vespid sprue is tough for me because mine was mashed, as I mentioned it a couple of times. It wasn't in particularly good nick coming out of the box. Now that is a problem with the packing of the box and also of the shipping of the box, because I've seen a couple of people who haven't had that same issue. So that is very localized to me, but it is still something that can happen. So that's a kind of big point, a full point off of the final score of the entire box. But the Vespid Stingwings sprue, it has all the challenges that organic units have when it comes to this type of thing, in that they just take longer to build and put together, especially if there's mold lines. And I know that's not borne out by the actual figures of the timing stuff that we've got here on the video, but there were times where it's less pieces, it's a simpler model, but you spent more time removing mold lines and all that sort of thing. So in that respect, it was a more difficult sprue, and the way it was positioned on the sprue, for example, all of the kind of extra bits that you have to cut away with a knife or mold line remover were just in really annoying places. So from a kind of frustration point of view, it does make the sprue worse. And mine was mashed, as I've mentioned like 5 or 6 times at this point. So I do have to take off at least a whole 2.5, maybe even 3 points for that. So we're sitting around about a 7 out of 10 for the Vespid. Now the terrain, Vertige's stuff aside, the new stuff, really, really cool, goes together quite nicely. It's the better of the terrain that I've put together in recent times, in terms of just everything actually slotting together perfectly and not having to kind of hold it in place for too long, or really kind of put some force in to make sure that things actually stick together, unlike, say, the Moor Pit. I think that's what it was called. I can't remember now. Anyway, it was a better terrain piece than ones that I've seen in recent times, and it was in really, really good nick. So excellent stuff. And the rubble, a really, really, really nice addition to these sprues. It will just make, when these things come out on their own as a kit, the strongholds or whatever they're called, it will make them feel a lot more lived in than, say, you normally get from a ruins kit, which is just kind of, you know, the walls and the pillars and the floor, which is fine. But to have the extra bits of barricadiness and all that kind of thing, and it's baked onto the sprue, which is why I know it will come with that kit later on, is really, really, really nice. It's just a slightly more intelligent way of doing it. Like the Vertige stuff is the big L with the smaller part of the building, presuming that most of it's been bombed out from that angle, as it were. But this way you get the intact building plus the rubble that's fallen in or fallen out, as it may be. So it's just a slightly nicer spin on it, and I think that's a really, really cool thing, and I would love to see more of that type of terrain, and of course more fully intact buildings. That's the thing that we want to see. I like fully intact buildings. They're awesome. One thing I will point out though about 40k terrain and AOS terrain is that they could do with taking a little bit more of a kind of leaf out of the book of the MESBG terrain designers and make these things a lot more modular, to make these pieces of terrain just a lot more interesting to put together. It's very by the numbers. There's not many pieces, like 8 or 9 per building, and they go where they go. More experienced builders will obviously tell me I'm wrong about that, but it would be nice to have these kits become much more modular in the way that they are put together, so that you can create stuff that you want to make for your tables easier, just like MESBG has done with the Gondor terrain, for example. So overall, not too many complaints about the terrain, to be honest. Most complaints I have is about the vertiges stuff, because it is just a bit more clunky and a bit more difficult to put together. It is mostly push fit in some way, shape or form. Like actually adding glue to the equation of building some of that stuff makes it much harder. So I end up just really forcing those pieces together, and it's absolutely fine. And the fact that it's there as well, and it's not all new that's in this box, is a little bit of a disappointment for me when it comes to this box. So I'm going to mark it down a little bit from that. However, it does mean we come to the point where we are going to talk about what the kind of average score for this box is. And I think from a modeling perspective, from the things that contained within, the fact that you get so much terrain and the 2 kill teams, they're very cool. And there's all those different ways to play as well. Not that we're really a rules channel yet, but I think we're going to have to give this box a 9 out of 10. And I'll explain. I think if you want to dive into kill team, this is a really good place to start. And you get an absolutely astronomical amount of terrain. It feels like a nice clustered board, which is good. It's what you want for your Hivestorm games and games of kill team. And if you are already an existing 40kist and you have a pile of terrain already, you've just gained like, what is it? It's like 14 pieces, something like that, which is an absolutely enormous amount to get. Aquilons and Vespid are very nice as well. I want to see more from the Tempestus range, but that's for another time. I just think it's a very, very, very good jumping in point, but also that it caters to lots and lots of different customers in some way, shape or form. For me, I, as mentioned, don't have any friends nearby. So to be able to play this game by myself out of the box, that's great. What would be nice is if I had time to do that. I will make time. So there's lots of stuff to love in here. It's just, like I said, it caters to so many different people. And for that reason, this kill team box stands out above other kill team boxes that I've looked at or had the chance to review on the channel before. So I think this one's really, really good. And I'm just going to give it a 9 out of 10 on the Land Raider scale. I really like it. I think it's fab. So with all that in mind, let me know what you think about the Kill Team Hivestorm box in the comments below. And, well, I hope you're looking forward to the painting tutorials. There's loads of content coming out over the next couple of weeks, like 3 to 4 weeks. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all very soon for another sprue review. Yep, not long now. If you enjoyed this video, you love the channel and you'd like to support me further, you absolutely can do so by heading to patreon.com/Warhipster, just like all of these wonderful, amazing people have done. And alternatively, you could become a YouTube channel member by clicking on the join button below, exactly like these fabulous folks have done, scrolling up on the screen before you. There are so many of you out there that it really takes my breath away, and I cannot thank you enough for everything you do, as without you I wouldn't be able to keep making these Contrast Plus videos. And if you really like this video and you want to send me a little thanks, just click on the thanks button just below this video. Don't forget to share it, like it, comment on it, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and to make sure you stay up to date, don't forget to click the bell icon. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all very soon in the next one. Happy wargaming.